What's up, everybody? It is a solo 1, 2, 3 count of Wrestling Pod. I'm your host tonight, CT, to talk to you about everything going on in professional wrestling, while also, hey, shout out to Brody King right now. I'm doing a live watch for AEW's Grand Slam, watching alongside, the Dr. Line. So, shout out to my boys, Chris, who he is currently going back to school. Today was his first day, so he's going to be missing a little bit. Also, shout out to my other co-host, Audie. His son gave birth to his first grandchild. Shout out to Grandpappy Audie on your newborn grandson. But with that being said, I'm here and let's get the ball rolling. First and foremost, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We do this every single week. And also don't forget, I have Pulse of the Ring, where I drop interviews with local, not even local, just indie talent from around the world every Monday at 5 p.m. Now, for real this time, let's get into my notes. What do we have first? Well, I want to say get well soon to one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv Morgan. She dislocated her shoulder in her match with Kyrie on Monday. It is being said that she needs surgery. I don't know what they're going to do with the Women's Tag Team title. I suggested on my own that they should put Roxy in. I feel like that's everybody's thought process because you can continue the story going of women, not even women, just castmates and whatever going in and out of the Judgment Day. Judgment Day is pretty much becoming Chase U on the main roster, but it can also keep the story going with Liv Morgan and Roxy whenever Liv Morgan is able to come back. That being said, boy oh boy, the women's tag team titles are cursed. So much so. I also wish that they would split the tag teams titles up and give NXT their own tag team titles again, because you rarely see them come down or NXT talent go up. Just give the women, because there's so many women down at NXT, the tag team titles. But again, yes, Liv Morgan, we wish you well. We never want to see a wrestler get hurt. And for anybody who wishes for a wrestler to get hurt, you are a horrible person. You're not a wrestling fan. You are what we call in the industry the asshole. And that's how it's just going to be. Keeping it going. Again, right now, we have AEW's Grand Slam Mexico. It's starting with a giant 14-man tag. And the crowd is going crazy for Bandito. We have the Don Callis family in there. And, this is my first time being able to see, how the Mexican crowd really is, like, fan-wise. I've seen a few, like, CMLL, AAA, like, matches here and there, but I've never been able to actually sit down and watch. If it's anything like how most of the fans were at AAA, even though, yes, they were in America, this is going to be a great, crowd. And it's 2.5 hours. SmackDown is finally going back to 2 hours. For the longest time, everyone has said 3 hours is way too much. Hell, the 4 hours that we had to watch of the AEW show was way too much. But, I love wrestling. It is what it is. SmackDown, as of July 4th episode, supposedly is going back to 2 hours. They are filming it, on June 30th because they want everybody to be home for the holidays. I'm so excited because, granted, I'm not able to watch SmackDown because I don't have cable. I'm able to watch everything else but SmackDown, so it is what it is for me. But I do get wrestling exhaustion. There's wrestling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes on Sunday. So that's usually a 13, 14 day of wrestling before you actually get a break, a semblance. But we probably won't be getting a break because TNA has dropped their free tier for their subscription-based programming. So I don't have to watch TNA on YouTube anymore. Usually they put out like the full match on YouTube, like a day or two after. Now I can watch it live on my TV, and I can't wait. TNA has been improving significantly for the last few years, honestly. Even when I worked there was like just some amazing people there, but just, for some reason it just wasn't connecting. Now it's connecting with the crowd. You know, you have Joe Hendry, Moose, you got the System. You know, just watch it and remember, wrestling is life. The IWC is not real, just like the internet's not real. Just love wrestling. Just when you have fun, we really gotta argue about everything in wrestling. We don't. But going on from that, we have Moxley is being sued. So I'm gonna just go ahead and pull this up because I'm not a lawyer. During the May 10th episode of AEW Dynamite in 2023, which our boy Chris was there. It was during the Kenny Omega John Moxley match. John Moxley took a screwdriver from one of the local workers, not local workers, but he didn't primarily work for AEW. He was from a third party hiring. But he claims that John Moxley injured him to the point where he needed extensive surgery for back and neck issues. They also stated in the filing that it was known that John Moxley was a wild card and he went off script, pushing the man to the ground. There's a lot you can say about John Moxley. One, two, blowing him, he bleeds. But I don't necessarily think that he was being negligent. He just, wrestling wise, why is he just gonna go, thank you? No, he's gonna snatch it. And he's probably gonna push you away. The guy getting hurt, it sucks. We don't know what's gonna happen because it's just a new filing. We'll have to see, and it's just a shitty situation. That being said, wrestlers don't put your hands on people, I guess. I mean, unless they're a worker. If you know that they're a worker, even if they're just in the crowd, who knows? We'll see what's going on, because I've gotten in trouble plenty of times when I was wrestling, doing stuff like that with people that I knew. But that being said, Goldberg has returned, and I did not want that. I was a Goldberg fan growing up. I'm not a Goldberg fan right now. I haven't been in a while. He is not Ron Killings. He does not have he hasn't been doing this for years and years and years. So whenever he's in the ring, it's just, to me, it's not the Goldberg that I see as a child. I just see Father Time taking over. And like I say all the time, wrestling is a drug. It's very hard to stay out of it. I can't physically wrestle anymore, and I still want to get into the ring time and time again. Watching just like AEW or WWE, hell, even want to go to the indie shows. Again, support indie wrestling. But even when I go to indie shows, I'm like, man, I can get in there and do one more match. I know my bump card isn't done, but that's what I see with people like Goldberg. He hasn't had the best few matches. And I know he's just constantly I have to do just one more to go out on top. But I feel like the more that he does, the more off-putting his Hall of Fame career truly is. Something like with Dolph Ziggler, who can bump his ass off, have at it. But he's going in there with the likes of The Undertaker for the Bray Wyatt match that no one asked for or wanted. You know, it is what it is. They're gonna have their match July 12th in Atlanta, the same weekend as WWE All In. So we should see how that goes. Yeah. And I believe the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the new title in AEW. It's called the Unified title. Don't care for it. I mean, it is what it is. I do want them to unify titles. I do want them to get rid of titles. They have way too many titles to begin with and not enough time to promote every title because, oh wait, no. Death Riders has the 6-man. No, the Ops has the 6-man titles. Her Business is tag team. And then, yeah, it's just TNT is who? Oh, Adam Cole. I just saw him with it. See, there's too many titles for me to remember. But they're calling it the Unified title. I don't know how they're going to work it within the C2. I do see that being like, I would prefer to keep that as like the C2 title, but it can't everything that has to do with the C2, the Continental Classic, goes on with the Unified title. I wish they would kept it like, I kept saying that they were going to have to enter the true intercontinental title. International, continental, put it together, you know. Got it. Yeah, got it. But, you know, it just didn't necessarily work out that way. Plus, copyright. But we'll see what goes on with the new Unified title during, see who wins it at All In. But, let me see. Is there anything else that needs to really be talked about? Again, follow me at Pulse of the. Follow me at Pulse of the. Just got my phone. Where I interview talent. You know, I've interviewed former NXT North American champion Leon Ruffin, Chico Adams, who you've probably seen as an extra. Isaiah Broder, the Midwest Best Kept Secret, the Goddess, Nyx, and Jocelyn Navarro. Those are just who's came out so far. Next week I have, just go ahead and just go to Pulse of the Ring and also go to the 3 Count Pod. The number 3 Count Pod on all social medias and follow us there. And really, I'm going to see if there's anything I really want to talk about, because kind of just want to enjoy, you know, watching wrestling. I mean, Asuka did return, so I'm loving that. And yeah, no, there's nothing else that I need to talk about. So if you're watching this, because I know you are, thank you to everybody who's watched this. Hopefully I'm not doing these solo wrestling recaps, but if I am doing it for a little bit longer, just keep with us. You know, we got people going back to school and we got people being grandparents, you know, both of them are married with kids as well. So if no one's told you that they love you, somebody loves you. Darius loves you. If no one's told you that you're awesome, you're definitely awesome. My boy over here thinks you're awesome as well. Not some who can't see him. And with that being said, we hope that you're doing everything that you love watching wrestling. Remember, tribalism is trash. Don't do it. But until next week,